When facing a situation where a homeowner requests a change to the light fixture height after the rough-in phase and refuses to pay, electrical contractors have several options to consider. The initial step involves clear and open communication with the homeowner. Engage in a constructive dialogue to understand their concerns and perspective. Explain that the original placement was based on industry standards, practical considerations, and safety guidelines. Provide a detailed explanation of the reasoning behind the initial height selection, emphasizing factors like illumination coverage, aesthetics from a distance, and potential glare issues. Discuss possible alternatives with the homeowner, such as selecting a different fixture that would achieve the desired aesthetic at the original height. Present options with varying designs, sizes, and light distribution patterns that might better align with the homeowner's vision without requiring relocation. Secondly, carefully review the contract that was established with the homeowner. Scrutinize the terms and conditions to identify any clauses or provisions that address changes to the scope of work or modifications to the original design. Determine if the contract specifies the process for handling alterations or if it outlines the responsibilities of each party in the event of a change request. If the contract explicitly addresses modifications, adhere to the outlined procedures for documenting the change, obtaining written approval, and adjusting the project cost. If the contract does not address the specific issue of fixture height, it may be more challenging to negotiate with the homeowner. In this case, rely on industry best practices and professional judgment to support your position. Thirdly, consider negotiating a fair price for the additional work required to lower the fixture. If the homeowner remains insistent on lowering the fixture despite your initial explanations and alternative suggestions, offer to perform the modification at a reasonable cost that reflects the additional labor, materials, and time involved. Accurately assess the value of the work, taking into account the complexity of the task, the potential for unforeseen challenges, and the need to maintain code compliance. Prepare a detailed cost estimate that clearly outlines the breakdown of expenses, including labor hours, material costs, and any applicable overhead. Be prepared to justify your pricing by providing transparent and accurate documentation of the associated costs. Consider offering a compromise to the homeowner, such as splitting the cost of the modification or providing a discount on the additional work. Negotiate in good faith and strive to reach a mutually agreeable solution that satisfies both parties. Fourthly, as a last resort, consider the possibility of placing a mechanic's lien on the property to secure your claim for payment. A mechanic's lien is a legal instrument that creates a security interest in the property, providing you with a claim against the property owner in the event of non-payment. Before pursuing this option, thoroughly research the lien laws in your jurisdiction to ensure that you comply with all applicable requirements and procedures. Consult with a qualified attorney to discuss the legal implications of filing a lien and to ensure that you have a valid claim. Note that filing a lien is a serious step that can have significant legal and financial consequences for both parties. It should only be considered in extreme cases where all other attempts to resolve the dispute have failed. Lastly, it is generally not advisable to refuse payment for the completed work as a professional contractor. Refusing payment can damage your reputation, potentially leading to legal action and creating a negative perception of your business. Even if you disagree with the homeowner's demands, it is essential to maintain a professional demeanor and fulfill your contractual obligations to the best of your ability. Seek to resolve the dispute through negotiation, mediation, or other alternative dispute resolution methods. Consider offering a partial refund or credit to the homeowner as a gesture of goodwill, even if you believe that you are not obligated to do so. Remember that maintaining a positive reputation and fostering strong relationships with clients are crucial for long-term success in the construction industry. Additional considerations include documenting all communications with the homeowner in detail, including emails, phone calls, and in-person conversations. Maintain a comprehensive record of all agreements reached, modifications requested, and changes to the scope of work. This documentation can serve as valuable evidence in the event of a dispute or legal action. Always conduct yourself in a professional and respectful manner, even if the homeowner is being unreasonable or difficult to deal with. Maintain open lines of communication and actively listen to the homeowner's concerns. Demonstrate empathy and a willingness to find a mutually acceptable solution. It is crucial to maintain open lines of communication and try to find a mutually acceptable solution. In addition to the previously mentioned steps, it's essential to explore alternative dispute resolution methods to resolve the conflict amicably. Mediation and arbitration are two common options that can help facilitate a resolution without resorting to litigation. Mediation involves a neutral third party who assists the contractor and homeowner in reaching a mutually agreeable settlement. The mediator facilitates discussions, explores options, and helps identify common ground. The mediator does not make decisions but guides the parties toward a resolution. Arbitration involves a neutral third party who acts as a private judge. The arbitrator hears evidence from both sides and makes a binding decision. Arbitration is typically faster and less expensive than litigation. Before initiating mediation or arbitration, review the contract to determine if it includes a clause requiring these methods. If such a clause exists, you may be obligated to pursue mediation or arbitration before filing a lawsuit. If the contract doesn't specify dispute resolution methods, both parties must agree to participate in mediation or arbitration. When preparing for mediation or arbitration, gather all relevant documentation, including the contract, change orders, communications with the homeowner, and cost estimates. Organize the information clearly and concisely to present your case effectively. Consider consulting with an attorney to prepare for the process and to ensure that your rights are protected. Litigation should be considered as a last resort, as it can be time-consuming, expensive, and adversarial. Filing a lawsuit can damage the relationship with the homeowner and can create negative publicity for your business. Before filing a lawsuit, carefully weigh the costs and benefits and consider whether there are other alternatives that could resolve the dispute more efficiently. If you decide to pursue litigation, consult with an experienced construction attorney who can guide you through the legal process. The attorney will assess the merits of your case, file the necessary pleadings, and represent you in court. When calculating the costs associated with lowering the light fixture, consider all direct and indirect expenses. Direct costs include the labor hours required to relocate the fixture, the cost of additional materials such as wiring, conduit, and fasteners, and any permit fees. Indirect costs include overhead expenses such as insurance, administrative costs, and profit margin. Account for the time spent traveling to the job site, preparing the work area, and cleaning up after the job is completed. Factor in the cost of any specialized equipment or tools that may be required. When negotiating with the homeowner, be prepared to discuss the cost breakdown in detail. Explain how the labor hours were calculated, justify the material costs, and demonstrate that the overhead expenses are reasonable. Be transparent and honest in your pricing to build trust with the homeowner. If the homeowner questions the cost estimate, be willing to negotiate and make reasonable concessions. Consider offering a discount or reducing the scope of work to lower the overall cost. However, be careful not to compromise on quality or safety to reduce costs. When discussing alternative lighting options with the homeowner, consider the impact on energy efficiency and lighting performance. Recommend fixtures that meet energy efficiency standards and provide adequate illumination for the intended purpose. Provide the homeowner with information on the energy consumption and operating costs of different lighting options. Explain the benefits of using LED lighting, which is more energy efficient and longer lasting than traditional incandescent or fluorescent lighting. Suggest fixtures with adjustable light levels or dimming capabilities to allow the homeowner to customize the lighting to their preferences. Consider the impact of the fixture's design on the overall aesthetic of the space. Choose fixtures that complement the architectural style and design elements of the home. If the homeowner is uncertain about which fixture to choose, offer to provide samples or mock-ups to help them visualize the options. Another crucial aspect to consider is the local electrical codes and regulations. Ensure that the relocation of the light fixture complies with all applicable codes and regulations. Verify that the wiring is properly sized and installed, and that the fixture is grounded correctly. Obtain any necessary permits before starting the work. If the homeowner insists on a modification that violates electrical codes, explain the potential safety hazards and legal consequences. Refuse to perform any work that would compromise safety or violate regulations. Document any code violations or safety concerns in writing and provide a copy to the homeowner. Emphasize the importance of adhering to electrical codes to protect the safety of the occupants and to avoid potential fines or penalties. Maintaining a professional and respectful demeanor throughout the dispute resolution process is essential. Avoid getting into arguments or engaging in personal attacks. Listen actively to the homeowner's concerns and acknowledge their perspective. Express empathy and a willingness to find a solution that satisfies both parties. Use clear and concise language to communicate your position and avoid using technical jargon that the homeowner may not understand. Be patient and persistent in your efforts to resolve the dispute amicably. Remember that maintaining a positive reputation and building strong relationships with clients are crucial for long-term success in the electrical contracting industry. Seeking advice from other professionals in the industry can provide valuable insights and guidance. Consult with other electrical contractors, trade associations, or industry experts to get their perspectives on the situation. Attend industry events and networking opportunities to connect with other professionals and learn from their experiences. Consider joining a trade association, which can provide access to resources, training, and support. Discuss the situation with your insurance provider to determine if you have any coverage for disputes with homeowners. Some insurance policies may cover legal fees or other expenses associated with resolving disputes. By seeking advice from other professionals, you can gain valuable insights and perspectives that can help you navigate the dispute effectively. After resolving the dispute, take steps to prevent similar situations from occurring in the future. Review your contractor and make any necessary revisions to clarify the process for handling change orders or modifications. Implement a system for documenting all communications with homeowners, including emails, phone calls, and in-person conversations. Provide homeowners with clear and concise explanations of your pricing policies and procedures. Train your employees on effective communication and conflict resolution skills. By implementing these preventive measures, you can minimize the risk of future disputes and improve your relationships with homeowners. In summary, when faced with a homeowner who demands a change to the light fixture height after the rough-in phase and refuses to pay, electrical contractors should prioritize communication, contract review, negotiation, and alternative dispute resolution methods. Filing a lien or refusing payment should be considered only as a last resort. By maintaining a professional demeanor, adhering to ethical standards, and seeking advice from other professionals, contractors can navigate these challenging situations effectively and protect their business interests. And consider offering a discount on a future service call. And also take the time to explain how they can avoid this issue in the future.